Living in the Spanish countryside is one of the most beautiful places that you can live on earth, in my opinion. But it's not all peaches and cream. So today in this video, I'm going to run you through the top 5 cons to living in the campo. Number 1 for me is bins. If you're used to missing the bin man on a Tuesday, well, it's worse here. The bin man doesn't come to your house. That means you have to load up your own bins and take them to a local drop-off point, which is stinky business. Now, if you've got a 4x4, then you can get a bit more in. But if you're rolling around in a Mini Cooper or something small, then that is something to think about. It's considerably more effort than the bin man coming to your house. So another thing about living in the campo is your post. The likelihood of it being delivered to your house gets slimmer and slimmer the further out in the countryside that you live. So for us, we have to go to a local post box place where we hire a box every year, and all our post gets delivered to there. Come with us. You wait there, darling. Of course, that can mean a wasted trip if you don't have anything. So next up is water. If you move to a house in the countryside in Spain, and you're lucky enough to be on mains water, then you're kind of the first that get cut off when water does have any kind of shortages, although we're not really experiencing that now in these times. There doesn't seem to be the shortages that we had 5-10 years ago. However, a lot of the houses come with these, which are wells. And well water, although it's free, has a funny old system. So the house that we're currently living in, it goes through filters, then to a tank, and then the tank has to be cleaned, and then the tank provides the house with water, but we don't drink it. Even though it's been filtered and it's come from a clean tank, it tastes horrific. And the quality of the water is also very hard as well. So my wife is always talking about how bad the quality of water is for her hair, and that it's made it very hard, or the water's very hard. Myself, when I first moved out here, I had a full head of hair, and I believe it's the water that caused, no, it wasn't the water that caused this. I've never had a full head of hair, you don't want to see that. So water, that is definitely something to think about. The next up is the electrics. Now, I don't think I know a single house that has decent electrics in the campo. Like sometimes when the washing machine is on and the kettle's on and Joe's watching the telly or got the hairdryer on, or they're just a little bit too much electric, gone, we're cut. Okay, something will go, we'll have to reset the electrics and start it all up again. Now, a lot of the time that's because of how the house has been built. Campo houses usually, because they're old buildings, generally, are one room. And then over the years, as different people have owned them, what happens are that somebody builds an extension, and then they build an upstairs, and then they build an extended kitchen. And rather than rewire the entire place, usually what happens is most of these places are done on a bit of a budget, and that means that they just take the electric from the nearest point and stretch it out further. So the electric supply isn't designed to support a 3-bed house with a massive kitchen and all the rest of it. But because it's been built over time, they've not really catered for that. So if you take our house, for instance, or the house that we're just about to leave, the supply of electric that you probably can't see is just coming in off of the track over the side there. And what happens is it runs down to the house, but the cable that's supplying the house is very thin. In fact, we had a professional electrician come over to see what we could do to upgrade the electrics, and he said the cable, the thickness of the cable that's providing your entire house of electric is the same thickness that we would in the UK supply an oven with in the kitchen. And that is one of the massive reasons as to why the electrics trip regularly. So if you do have, if you are looking at buying a campo house or you're living in a campo house, either check the electrics out or make sure you got lots of candles. So my last little gripe about living in the campo or the countryside in Spain is to do with the plumbing. Okay, so as you might be able to see, there was a small hole in my ceiling, in my kitchen ceiling, and that is there because of rats. We've had a rat chew through one of the pipes, cause a leak, and it was raining in the kitchen one morning when we came in. Now, rats kind of come part and parcel of living in the countryside anywhere. That isn't really the issue, it's the plumbing. The plumbing systems aren't designed for modern day living. Like, you're not meant to put toilet paper in the toilet after you're finished. You're meant to bag it up and bin it. You'll see signs all over the place for that kind of thing. The extensions that are built usually are done with dodgy plumbing. There are a lot of people that come out to Spain, reinvent themselves as a professional or have a go at something, and generally don't necessarily do as good a job as a professional. So again, if you're looking at moving to the campo, then check these things out first. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, I promise you. If this video hasn't scared you off, living in the campo is one of the most beautiful places you can be. And there is another video on that. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and if you have enjoyed the video, then give us a thumbs up. It really does help, and we really do appreciate your support. Anyway, bye for now.